roster, and we're going to talk about how it can affect the rest of the run in the Eastern Conference. Me, Stevo, C-Dub, and Big Kev are going to break it all down right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. We're here to break down the latest trade that happened and how it's going to change and impact the Eastern Conference. Fellas, first off, let's grade the deal. We now know all the details about the deal. The Toronto Raptors are getting back 3 first-round picks, 2 of those being in 2024, one being from, I think, a mix between Houston. It's like 5 other teams it could come from, but they're getting the worst of that. And then on top of that, they're getting a 2026 first-round pick that is top 4 protected. How do you grade the deal for the Pacers and for the Toronto Raptors?
For the Indiana Pacers, I'm gonna give it an A because obvious it's a win now move. They want to start competing for a championship right now. That's what the move tells me. Now for the Toronto Raptors, I like it as well because now they can go ahead and get players for their future. They can rebuild their team, blow it up. This is what you do when you blow it up. You get those young assets, you get those draft picks, and they doing it the right way. So expect Toronto to lose a lot now.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, they killing the Miami Heat as we speak right now. But RJ Barrett doing his thing. I'm right there with you, Doug. I mean, I don't know about giving up that many draft picks, mainly because I'm a Bulls fan and I see what happened. We traded for Vooch. The Bulls were trying to go into win now mode, so to speak, and we haven't had a first round draft pick since basically. So that can hurt the Indiana down the road. But at the end of the day, look, you're trying to compete. You're trying to compete in a division with Cleveland playing really well. You're trying to compete in a division where, of course, Milwaukee is doing what they're doing. So they put themselves in the conversation for one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Now, Toronto, you're absolutely right. You don't say no to that. All those draft picks, you don't say no to that. Like, this is what it is. I give both teams, I don't know. I guess I could say I give Indiana a B plus and Toronto an A, just basically because Toronto got all those picks out of the deal.
Now, I do want to, so just since you brought it up, Kev, I do want to bring it up. You compare giving up that many first-round picks to the Bulls. The difference is the Bulls sent out picks elsewhere. The Pacers have every one of their picks now other than 2024 until 2030. So they got all their own first-round picks other than that. So
they traded picks from other teams that they had.
Exactly. So so that's how that rolled. The Indiana. So technically, they could not have their own 2026 pick. But yeah, their 2024 they traded their own and the Clippers pick, which also has protections from Houston, OKC, and Utah. But 2005 they got their own pick. 2007 they got their own pick. 2028 they got their own.
Oh, well then A's all around. Like seriously,
I just wanted to add some clarity on that part. Stevo, how do you grade the deal?
I give it an I. Incomplete.
How so?
That's what it's to me. It's just like, for one, is you're taking a risk. I understand they got the bird rights of Pascal, but that don't mean Pascal want to stay. He still have to make the decision if he want to stay. So you're going to risk out for them. 2, you gave up a quality bench player, arguably their best bench player, and Bruce Brown. So I didn't necessarily like that, but I knew they was had to give something up. I was hoping they kept Buddy Hield, which is good, but it's just the Yeah, they needed another secondary scorer, and they definitely need a wing player on that team for sure. But they need defense. They almost need more defense more than they need more scoring. So, like, to me, it only puts them ahead, maybe the Heat, maybe. And that's just like I just can't say with full confidence they're better than anybody else because of this move. Yeah, it's a nice move. Go ahead.
You're giving Indiana incomplete. What about Toronto?
Toronto's a good move to me. It's always going to be a good move. You got 3 first-round picks, and you got a quality ring-winning bench player at that. And then, like you said, they're in a real rebuild. So you got somebody like a Scotty Barnes who you think you could build around who could possibly be your Scottie Pippen or whoever you want him to be on your team. You could build around him. They need a quality guard. You can find that guard the next few drafts, what you just got. So I like what they did. To me, like C-Dub say, it's a win now move, but Yeah, I think you need way more tools on your team to consider yourself a real contender. Like you're going to be competing for sure, but I don't know if you're a real contender yet.
Now,
Yeah, did they get better? I'm sorry, Drip. Did they get better?
Like a seed better.
Steve,
see, I
like
gotta,
a C.
I gotta
Okay.
disagree. Like and I get what you're getting at, Steve. I'm not disagreeing with the point that
Hold
you're
on, Drip,
making.
real quick,
No,
Drip.
I'm talking.
I'm
Let me
sorry,
talk.
Drip.
Stop
I
trying
love
to
you,
interrupt
Drip.
me. Look, and then his internet crapped out. Like, come on. Like,
You did that. I just
did.
want to know what your grades were before we get into
Well,
the
that's what I was
depth
going
of
to get
things.
into. So when, as far as the trade to say that they get, first off, Bruce Brown hasn't come off the bench for him any of the season. He started all 33 games he's played.
Oh, he was a starter.
Yeah, and they got
That's
better
why it was
player.
weird.
Than Bruce Brown, and a player that's more versatile. And he's like, let's not act like Pascal Siakam's terrible defensively. He's a better help defender. And I also think when you look around the Eastern Conference, every team above them made moves offensively. It's not the same league anymore where you look at, like, I agree that they need some defense, but I think that they're making the calculated risk to say, all right, we have enough. And now offensively, what Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal can do, I like what they can do there. And I got to give them a solid A- for this deal, because they weren't even mentioned initially for the running of Pascal Siakam. For them to slide in there, give up Bruce Brown, who is solid and came from an NBA champion team. He's 6'4". They now replace that with more size. They can move some of the other players on the roster that were playing smaller that kind of make more sense. And then on top of that, you're taking a risk. The contract's definitely taking a risk. I don't want to act like you're not taking a risk there, because he can walk for nothing. But I think when you look at this season and the fact that they have so much youth that is still developing, this makes sense to make a move for a veteran that's going to help shore up some of the things that they've had shortcomings on. So I got to give it an A- for the Pacers. The only reason this keeps it from an A+ is that we already know he's not agreeing to a contract extension. He plans on completely testing that free agent market, and that's where you can get a little risky with things at. And for the Raptors, hey, you got 3 first-round picks. That's nothing. You got 3 first-round picks. It is what it is.
My concern, I just don't see with people got better offensively, but like I said, you can go with this. Oh yeah, we can outscore you, but there's people that can keep up with you and stop you, and that's my thing. Yeah, he helps a little bit, but they're like 12th in the in the NBA when it comes to defense. And if you're going against,
let me correct that on that too. They're 28th in the NBA in defense.
Even worse.
I was about to say 12 would be decent.
That's even worse.
They score the most points.
That makes
Indiana score a lot, but they give up a lot. They score a lot, but they give up a lot.
The third worst team in the league when it comes to defense. So that's my whole thing. If you're going up against a Cleveland, yeah, you can keep up with them, but there's going to be a time where they can crack down on you. You go up against a Philly, the same old thing. They can keep up with you, and then that third quarter, fourth quarter hit, and that defense going to drop on them. What you going to do then? Now, I'm not saying we've seen plenty of teams of this makeup going around. Like, if they can actually have, if they're, because I think him and Tyrese going to really be like that. But if they're like that, then they could do it. But I got to see it first. But off rip, if I'm really giving a grade, I give it a C+ for now.
That's fair. That's fair. And like I said, that's why
it's a question mark.
Yeah. I'm not saying that this is knockout thing where it's just like they're going to be the number 1 team in the East. I do think that with already them being what they were offensively, and now adding Pascal, who again, not the greatest on-ball defender, but go check Pascal Siakam's weak side help defense. He brings a lot there. You already got Miles Turner there if he's going to be healthy that can help out with there. You still got Smith coming off the bench there. They got some players. They can do that old school defense where you're funneling everything in, and your bigs just based off their wingspan is going to deter a lot there.
I just got one question. Who pushing them to that health side?
Ben Mathurin and Naismith?
Okay, well, I give Ben Mathurin. I'm talking about in the starting. Okay, who's their starting lineup now? If we put them in
starting lineup right now, Halliburton, Hield, Naismith, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner.
That's a killer lineup.
Don't
even act like it ain't, Steve.
It's not killer. It kills us. It kills us. It's not a killer lineup.
Let's be honest, though, Stevo. They already had a killer lineup offensively. Like, they're near the top of the league in scoring.
And they just gain points and defense.
They gain points and defense, but
they
again, it's not necessarily that they gain points, though, because the reality is the points got to be distributed to somebody. So, it's not like he about to come in and just average.
But Kev, are you
$5 a
worried
game.
about that with a guy like Tyrese Halliburton controlling being the floor general?
No, what I'm saying is it's just about distribution though. So like
I-
it's
that's-
it's just yeah.
But are
It's
you
just what it
worried
is.
about
Kev.
that with Tyrese?
No, I love Tyrese Halliburton, man.
Okay.
The biggest thing for me is that I hate that this happened in our division with the Chicago
Oh, yeah,
Bulls.
for
That's
sure.
Yeah.
that's what I
That's a
hate the
fact,
most
for
about
sure.
all of this.
But I've also thought about this. I think two things can happen. The distribute could go up, or this can actually help Tyrese game from a scoring point go even
Yes.
higher. So it's like whatever you want to do with it's that's a good. Like that's the one thing I like about it. I feel like Pascal is the guy you could put next to you. Well, you are putting next to Tyrese. That can make him go to that next level, which I like for sure. Like I
Mhm.
said,
Is
as
we
long
doing
as
that
you can.
already, Steve? Though, is we making
you
them the
mean?
duo instead of Miles Turner and
No, I
Tyrese?
wouldn't say.
think
I
it's
wouldn't
Miles Turner and Tyrese the duo. It gotta be those two to me.
No, when you get a wing that can do almost the same things you can do on a scoring level, that's your duo.
Oh no, it ain't always.
I think the
that
duo,
way.
like,
I,
go ahead.
if you're talking about pecking order as far as place in the offense, it's definitely going to be Pascal.
It's
and
definitely gonna be
Tyrese.
You
Pascal.
think so?
That's it.
Bro.
Yeah, like
At least
they're
it
missing
could
that
get there
wing.
eventually. It could get
They've
there.
been missing
Yeah.
that wing for the longest, bro.
yeah,
And it ain't-
I
it's
think
not
that,
Obadiah
and that's
Thompson.
not to say that. That's not to say that Miles Turner is not still going to get his. Like he's going to get those opportunities, and I actually think that Miles Turner can become more efficient in this now because you got two play. Like let's not sleep. He's not amazing, but Pascal Siakam is a solid passer in
Yes.
the pick and roll
He
too,
is.
because he's been forced to. So you can even still use some of Miles Turner and Pascal in the pick and roll, and then have Tyrese Halliburton floating on the outside. And with the way that he's added range,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, Siakam averages 5 assists a game on top
Yeah,
of 6
yeah.
rebounds, and he
What a-
still shoots at 30% from 3. So they've gotten better. I think it's more than just a little bit better. I
Really
think they
quick,
got better.
and he
got
can
one
guard
thing to
2
say.
through 5. He can
I'm a-
guard 2
I'll-
through 5.
Yeah.
Some five.
Some five.
Some fives.
Right.
Some fives. Because I tell you what, right now, the two teams at the top, the Boston and Milwaukee, you put him on either one of their fives, he about to get cooked.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's a
Immediately.
Yeah. But
Or Philly.
But yeah, Philly too. But the thing that I want to put on this is that just because of I want to talk about it from the standpoint because we've all pointed out that he is a free agent at the end of the season. He could walk. But if he does walk, the Pacers then have $42 million in cap space.
There you go.
And teams are gonna want to join a young team with Pascal with Tyrese Halliburton on it. And if they want to get creative and they're not worried about avoiding the luxury tax, they could actually sign a player with their cap space and then use bird rights to re-sign Pascal Siakam. And at that point,
I got to play devil's advocate.
Wait.
said
Who's
same shit
the
about
GM
Paul
before
George.
you go, Steve? Who the GM? Because he out there making moves. Who the GM for Indiana?
Let me see real quick.
if I'm not mistaken, it's Chad Buchanan is their GM.
Well, Chad
Chad
Buchanan is probably gonna be the executive of the year, the way he making
But-
moves. Yeah.
But that's my thing. You say that, but we said the same shit about Paul George, and nobody wanted to come to no goddamn Indiana.
Well, that's because the niggas couldn't stay healthy.
He couldn't
And it
stay
was
healthy.
and it
at
was
all.
only
He had-
Paul George.
Yeah, like I mean, that whole
Yeah.
team was a big. That whole team should have renamed it the Los Angeles DNPs because you never knew who was going to be playing in that line.
I don't know.
Oh
I
my
just still
goodness.
think I think you ain't gonna get the star power, but I think you could build up a solid team if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Like you can get people of value, but you're not gonna get the people that you think you're going to get. Like that's what I mean. Unless Tyrese just is for one is that likable, which I think he will, and if he do heavy recruiting,
I mean,
he
but
can't do that D-Rose shit.
The real question is who's going to be available. Like that's something that needs to be discussed because it depends on who's on the market at that time because it just doesn't make sense to say, hey, well, people are going to want to come or not want to come because teams are going to have needs and people going to want bread too. So like if you're looking at a true star that's available, there's a chance they come to Indiana if there's no spots on the Lakers or the Clippers or you get what I'm saying, the main go-to destinations. They're already good at that position. You could easily find a spot on Indiana.
Hey, bro.
If
Hey,
Indiana makes a run this season, a serious playoff run, they don't necessarily have to make the finals, but let's say They push it to Game 7 in the semifinals. Look like they can push the Eastern Conference Finals. I know Indiana isn't typically a free agent destination, but I do think you can probably convince somebody with $42 million in cap space
Yes.
to come to Indiana.
And
Oh,
also, they got a secret. I add on to that, Drip. They got a secret weapon. They got Tyrese Halliburton. He's a superstar, a young one at that.
Yeah.
You know how people run and flock to young superstars. They want to be involved. You know what
I
I'm
won't
saying?
say they flock to the one in a good location.
right.
Indiana's
we
good.
have a gently used DeMar DeRozan. Do they want that? Do they want
You
I'll
said
give
gently
if they
used.
want him shit.
Gently
Yeah,
used DeMar DeRozan.
And
I
you
trade that buff.
here's the thing though, you can't say that they always flock to young talent because it didn't happen in Portland with Dame.
It didn't
just
happen
didn't.
to Ant.
Yeah, and it barely happened to Giannis as well.
And got a lot of
So like,
talent on this team now.
yeah, that's
But
through
they
trade.
didn't. But it was through trades, and they won stars. Like
Yeah, it wasn't like super.
That's how you
like,
build your
even
team. You
S-
sign that
S-
player, and then you start
No,
to
no.
build around the
You
player.
Hold on,
talking about
hold on. Let's see.
superstars?
We started. Wait, hold on. We're starting to talk over each other.
Yeah, my bad.
Just chill that down.
I'm just saying
All
that you talking
All
about
right.
superstars deciding to go as free agents to destinations, and that's not the case with Minnesota or even Milwaukee or even Portland.
OKC.
Indiana is a small market team, just like those other teams. So you can try to make yourself more appeasing or more appealing to these big name players, but at the end of the day, there's no guarantee that people want to go to the middle of Middle America, which is Indiana is like literally Middle America.
I'll say that's all and good, but I think the Indiana Pacers got one hell of a pitch. $42 million worth. They got a budding superstar in
definitely got a
Tyrese
hell of a pitch.
Halliburton.
You're right.
And you can come try to compete for a championship. How about
But if
that?
Giannis wasn't a good enough hell of a pitch, I'm just saying, like we've seen it where you got super duper
Do you
superstars and people weren't flocking to those teams either. That's all I'm saying.
you got to be a specific.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Go
it's
ahead.
a risk, right? Because you would like to think that teams are players are gonna automatically go to where the young talent is, but we've seen it now. It becomes about where your friends are, who can offer you the most money, who has the best location, what can you project them on going forward. But I think that's why it comes down to if this team goes on a run on top of having the young talent, then they've increased that chance.
Mhm.
And like I said before, and that's even to say that they could still bring Pascal back and still have a mid-level exception to still add some talent on the bench, and that's what we've seen teams do as well. So they got a lot of opportunity there. It just comes to what the team is going to look like, which kind of gets us to our next topic. Eastern Conference, the top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, Boston, Milwaukee, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Does this move, in your opinion, before we get to see much of them, does this push them up there with those top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, Stevo?
Fuck no.
Why'd you breathe so
I
hard?
mean, Jesus.
Fuck no.
Like, Jesus,
Hey,
that that
how do you do that through
you're
your
in the
mouth
winter.
and your nose simultaneously like that?
Because I'm wrong like that.
He said he'd been practicing when she sit on his face. He got to breathe out of one of those motherfuckers,
true.
so you got to get that
Hey,
rhythm going.
all been there.
hey, that is a good technique.
Look.
It
And
is.
and swimming helps too.
Listen, you ain't lying.
I mean, fuck all that. I mean, you could swim in that when she's. Never mind. Go ahead. Keep
Go
it
ahead,
pushing,
C-Dub. Go ahead, C-Dub.
No, Kev was about to talk.
Kev,
Go ahead,
my
Kev.
fault.
I don't think it pushes them into the top 3. I just think that Boston, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia have something that Indiana doesn't have, and that's familiarity with each other. Like
Great
the
point.
cores are pretty much the same with those teams. And Dame has had a few months to get acclimated to Milwaukee, and Joel Embiid appears to be on a mission. It doesn't seem like he's just satisfied with being the MVP anymore, but he has that. He looks like he wants to be a champion this year, and it don't matter who's in front of him. My man averaging like 36 points a game. So now, could it push them in front of Cleveland and Miami? Sure, but I don't think it pushes them into the top 3.
Okay. Dope.
Oh, that's fair. I understand those analysis, but earlier we was talking about question marks. And when you look at every team in the top 3, there's question marks. Oh, wait, look at the 76ers. They actually lost talent, but they are good as they were last year. They're about the same. Do you really trust Joel Embiid in the finals or in the Eastern Conference Finals? You can go to the Milwaukee Bucks. Whoa, it's Dame Lillard. He can score 30. Who can he guard? It is a lot of unstoppable guards in this league. Then, you can look at this last team at the Celtics and Porzingis, see their new piece. Do you trust Porzingis? This is the first year that somebody really need Porzingis to perform. But then you look at Indiana, they also got to amend their players. Their players got to get together. So it's question marks everywhere. So I put them top 3 above the 76ers. Thank
Hey,
you.
Dub, is Porzingis the only addition to Boston? Because they got Drew Holiday too.
No, he's not. He's not the only addition. No.
That was it.
That was
my
it?
question.
Okay.
I think both of those guys make Boston better. That's why I picked them to be better than Milwaukee.
Like I said to you off, like I don't even think they're better than the Cavs yet.
I understand that. But they are.
I think they're better than the Cavs now.
too.
I think they're better than the Cavs now too. But
Hey,
I mean, that's on paper.
That's what I said. That's the key thing on paper.
Yeah, you got to see it come together in reality. But here's what I'll say is that it definitely has made the Eastern Conference playoff race more exciting. Everybody got to stay healthy. And here's the thing too. This is the part we got to talk about.
We fucking suck.
We
Bulls.
talking about the Bulls.
I mean,
We talking about championship contenders right now.
It just
Bulls
fit.
don't belong in the
It just
conversation.
fit right there. It just fit right there.
But every other team, to Dub's point, that's above those top 3 teams all have major injury concerns. When you look at the Indiana Pacers roster, Tyrese Halliburton's dealing with something now. They pretty much stay pretty healthy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change anything for you?
Mm-mm.
No, okay, fair. I wanted to try to be thorough.
Not me, because I just got it's the same thing with Zach returning. I got to see a sample size. I got to see what it looks like on the floor. Just like with the Knicks, like when they got their trades, they went on a nice winning streak. But again, you got to see what it looks like when adversity happens and animosity happens. What happens when things aren't going your way? So it's going to be a jolt of enthusiasm, and Indiana's going to come out, running. Well, let's see how they look 20 games down the line. Then we can have a real conversation about them being a top team in the Eastern Conference.
Hey, this may be funny, but does this mean anything to you? It might be funny, but does it mean anything to you? They went to the in-season tournament championship.
No.
No,
the Lakers won the
in-season tournament champions, and exactly the Lakers won, and they look like absolute dogs.
They did look like trash.
I told you, listen, if I'm a team in the NBA, I'm not hanging up no banner for the in-season tournament. The moment they hung that banner up, everything been down since.
That was to appease Bron. Bron was like, hey, it's the first one, and I'm the only.
First of all, you can't appease a man with a bad hairline.
I say that's a lie. You could appease a lot of fucked up.
Yeah, my wife appeased me all the time.
You don't have a hairline. It's not a bad hairline. You don't have one.
Hey, you didn't have to point out.
Your shit not even like the Kobe with it. See,
come on now, you ain't even. Why y'all gotta go so hard like that, man? We supposed to.
You brought it up. We weren't even gonna talk about your hairline.
Sometimes, brother, we was lining up the shots, and you walk right in front of that motherfucker.
Niggas with hair always be going hard like that, bro. Just wait.
My shit. Hey, my father still got hair.
Hey, both of y'all were bald before the age of 25. Me and Stevo in there, bro. We all right.
Our father still have our hair.
All right, wait till we go. If we go to the All-Star game, wait till we in his Airbnb, y'all wake up to the Clipper sound in the middle of the night.
Hey, you better be.
You Pearly Gate. That's it. You will wake up. I love you.
You better be 7 states away, my nigga.
You better start watching MTV.
You better be 7 states away, because if I wake up and one lock gone, I'm on your ass.
Kev been hanging in the mountains of Caucasus too long. Think you finna wake up and you finna try to shave my hair.
Right. You have been with Vikings from Iceland when they cut their shit with actual blades. All right,
bro. Hey,
I'm gonna give your ass a Viking funeral.
Them was fighting words, my guy. God,
I'm gonna give your ass a Viking funeral.
You recently watched Jackass. You did, didn't you?
No. This is just for the moment, man.
Oh, you talking about hair?
Hey, Dub, why did we get neck cam back? Why can we see nothing below your beard? What happened, bro? What you hiding?
Hey, my camera right now is doing something else right now.
Somebody's doing something else.
Yeah,
oh man, now he got the porn star cam. What we doing, bro? Like,
I want y'all to see the whole shirt. Why don't y'all pay attention to that shirt up there? That Cognac Boy shirt up there.
They've been talking about it in the chat.
Listen.
Yes, sir.
Come on now. I had a rep. I got a rep.
My guy.
Right.
Bro, appreciate it.
Hey, Haize, did you give your are they top 3? Did you answer that one? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Top 3. I think I said on paper, Yes, but we do got to see how they're going to actually play together. On paper, I will give them top 3. I love this roster on paper. I love the way it works. Do not be surprised if they're very active in the buyout market to add that defense that Stevo talked about that they could need as well if somebody becomes available. But I'm putting them top 3 on paper. In reality, I don't even need 20 games. Let's give it 15. Let's see how they
So
look
who you
at
putting them in
it.
front of if they top 3? Ooh, Cole Anthony.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay.
I'm just telling y'all right now.
I've seen enough of the Sixers in the playoffs to right now, like much like I got to see it in the regular season with the Pacers, I got to see it with the Pacers in the postseason because it just, and I know Harden's not there anymore, but it's been too much for me to kind of overlook. And is Embiid going to be able to stay healthy? Are they going to make a move? I know that they've come out today and said they're not necessarily in a rush to use their assets. I don't see Daryl Morey not being active after seeing both the Knicks and the Pacers make a move. Morey is too petty. He's gonna make a move. How big it is, we'll see. But he's gonna.
Don't sleep on Miami making a move too. You know, Pat Riley licking his chops.
All I gotta say, you better watch out for Miles Turner's spicy looking ass. He look like he get an attitude off this.
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm like, who is Turner?
Why you say that? I ain't even see that anywhere. Why you say that?
Because he just look like he'd get an attitude from this shit. He coming in here thinking he the man. I don't even know how he think he could do that. Motherfucker, you ain't that good, nigga. That's why.
He definitely decent especially on the defense.
It's the random players that Stevo have beef with that just surprise me.
I don't have beef with him. I just said
you basically just said he's spicy. Like where did my
but we not finna do that and act like we ain't see this motherfucker come out look like he just came out the kitchen.
Yeah, had a
cooking fried fish
on and the scarf around.
But see, that's just his generation. They all look spicy now.
No, this motherfucker was sitting on the mud like this.
What? I ain't see that shit.
With his legs crossed.
Hey, he was.
His legs was crossed like an auntie, bro.
He was, bro. He's like, when we going to see the new color purple? He was ready.
Definitely.
He was ready.
If somebody would have slapped the bad bitch filter on that one, you would have had mad questions, bro. That was the only thing.
That's literally that's how he looked like he wake up and say the first thing he say bad badge.
Hey.
All right, it's time to end the show. Any last thoughts on the Pacers, the Toronto Raptors? We didn't talk very much about the Raptors, but we know I don't know if they're trying to necessarily bottom completely out, but they're asset stacking. And shout out to them for getting the assets that they got back.
I'm not too mad at the Raptors. They can't bottom completely out because Detroit got 4 wins. Washington got 7. And Charlotte got 8. However, I like what they're doing because they're preparing for a future. They got rid of they didn't re-sign Van Vliet. They got rid of OG. They got rid of Pascal. They basically got rid of all of their payroll to try to rebuild. And you like to see that from a team who, honestly, they won a championship, 3-4 years ago? So, the fans aren't really in purgatory like a lot of fans in the NBA are clamoring for a true championship. At least Toronto won a championship within the last 5 seasons. And now they're trying to retool. So shout out to them for at least putting themselves in position to do so.
If I'm Toronto,
and shout out to the Pacers for stacking first round picks because they know ain't no free agent signing into. You talk about nobody going to the Pacers. Nobody is signing in Toronto.
Nope.
That's why
they got to trade or draft everybody.
I was just about to go say go make a call to Utah and see what they'll give you for Colin Sexton. I like him in Toronto.
I think that's decent.
Cheap.
Now also
young guard, cheap for go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry, I interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I just think he'd be a nice piece. He's cheap, he a nice guard, he facilitates, he can score, and that's somebody nice you could put next to Scotty, and potentially he could be a part of your franchise for a couple more years because he's still young.
See, that's why I'm glad you said Scotty. Now I think Scotty, he's just not the one that you want to be building around. I think they need to trade Scotty and really just try to rebuild this. Blow it up. Scotty ain't that. Y'all feel like Scotty can get you there?
Bro, Scotty didn't prove.
Hey, you don't trade
what is he,
Scotty
21,
right
22?
Now,
bro. Hey, C-Dub, you know I'm not the biggest Scotty fan. That motherfucker didn't have a shot coming in. Now he's shooting from the mid and the 3. That shows he know how to work.
And he can play defense. Out this world.
Is he a player that you see his progression and he can lead you into the playoffs? Just
no, he's not going to be a 30 and 10 guy. But
I ain't gonna lie.
That doesn't mean you give up on him because you need a player like Scotty Barnes.
his name's Scotty for a reason because he looked like Scottie Pippen sometimes.
I think Scottie Barnes is everything that Draymond Green thinks, or at least thought that he was at his height, at his
We
prime.
just sending straight to everybody.
I'm just saying, look at what Scottie Barnes brings to the table. He can pass the ball, he can score, he can rebound, he can facilitate. That's all the things that Draymond Green act like he do at the highest level.
That's why I said he a modern Scottie Pippen to me.
Mm-hmm.
He can be. Let me not say he is. He can be.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's a long job they got though. It's a long rebuild though. What you thinking? Like 3-4 years for Toronto?
Shit, 5.
5 years.
They got a minute. They got a minute.
I ain't mad at that about 5 years before
I mean,
they
but
competing.
About 11 days.
But think about it though. They about to have 2 first-round picks in the next few drafts. So it is what it is. What up, chat? We see y'all in the chat too. What's good?
Bearing any protection stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Barring, I'm saying bearing.
All right, fellas. Any last thoughts before we get the hell up out of here?
No, sir.
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following the show at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything basketball related. We out this bitch. Peace, y'all.